Hello and welcome to the Coach Fish Show. Coach, first of all, congratulations on the victory last night and the season that you've had so far. I'd like to start out just asking a few questions, and one of them I'd just like to ask you is, I'm curious how you built the trust and the confidence in this team when, before you arrived, they really didn't have this success, and before you got back here, and you've been able to build something really successful so quickly.
Yeah, I think for me, a lot of it has to do with the boys' buy-in, right?
Yep.
I know one of our assistants says it best. You don't know how, or they don't know how much you know until they know how much you care, right? So for me, it was making sure that they knew that we cared. We've pushed them hard, like really hard this year, but they've bought in. They've definitely made waves, right? So I think the consistency piece needs to be there still. But for us, like, we're in a position right now where we've won a lot of hockey games. Won double what we had
Over
in
double.
previous years. But that's all the boys. Like, they've worked hard. They've competed. This last month has been really fun, especially against late conference teams. Where games that they got blown out last year were at least competing and giving us a chance to win. So for me, it's about hard work. The biggest compliment that I can get from an opposing team is their coach talking to me after the game and saying, "You guys are really hard to play against. You play hard, you play the right way." And I think I've gotten that compliment quite a bit the last half of the year here.
Perfect. There's been a lot of positive things that have happened this season, just like you mentioned a few there. Can you share some highlights with us about the season so far?
Yeah, that's pretty easy. I mean, we've kind of touched on it already. I had a guy ask me, "What is my signature win this year?" And I say, all of them. They won 5 games 2 years in a row, so every win's a big win. It's a step in the right direction. But if you put it back on the boys again, like, we have everybody who's playing varsity hockey right now has had career years. And it's not by like a point or two, it's by a lot of points.
Right.
Tanner's got more goals than he had all of last year point-wise, right? You look at Easton Monahan, he had 3 points last year. He's got 27 right now. A guy like Hernandez had like 3 or 4 points come in his whole career, and he's got 22. So I'm really proud of the time and effort that these guys put in, and they're having success doing it the right way.
Sure. I mean, congratulations again. Last night, your team beat Buffalo, your conference rivals, 6-0.
Yeah.
And you got to that 11 win mark of the season, as we talked about, more than double the last 2 years combined. It's been so fun to watch. And it's great to watch the confidence grow and watch the team members do this. And it wasn't like that before you arrived. And what do you think you did to engineer this confidence in your team?
Yeah, I mean, for me, we just went on with our seniors. It starts with a culture shift. The boys have definitely bought in. They've worked their butts off. But it's all about them. It's all about the team and just making sure that they're doing the right things every day, day in and day out, the consistency piece. To beat your rival 2 games in a row and beat them 14-2, that's pretty special. Something that you can definitely hang your hat on, for me anyways. And I think the biggest thing going into the playoffs here is that we're feeling pretty good. So
perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then, Coach, can you share some highlights about the players from last night, as long as we mentioned last night?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was an interesting game, right? We talked about the more disciplined team is going to come out on top. I think both teams were undisciplined at times, but we found a way to put the puck in the back of the net. They weren't pretty, but it was one of those things where just get pucks on net and try to see what happens, right? So I know for me, it was great for our senior group. Alex got the party started early, got a nice power play goal there. And then we call him Jimmy and the Jets, or Gino Jimmy. He got 2 really nice goals. He had 2 snipes where we ran their Hamlin play, and he scored at the very end of that period, right after he got his shorthanded goal. And then Jack had 3 assists last night, so you couldn't ask for a better senior night. Tanner chipped in like he always does. He had a couple goals, and I think Easton had an assist or 2, and
Yep.
Waller had a nice goal, and 2 assists. So all the boys contributed. We put the senior line together. They played a ton. Ingy, great in net. He's had, 5 periods in a row, shutout hockey. So that's a kid who just stayed mentally strong, right? Like, he hasn't played for a little bit. EJ had the net, and then he gets hurt, and Ingy gets thrown in, and Next thing you know, it's Inky's net again. So for me, it just shows how our culture is built. It's the next man up.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. And if you'd like to, I'd like to remind all of you, that the Knights are facing Eden Prairie tomorrow night at the Eden Prairie Community Center. The puck drops, I believe, at 4:45 for the JV, and it'll drop at 7 p.m. for the varsity team. So please come out and support the Knights for their last game of the season. I'd like to again to thank Coach. And do you have any last words you'd like to share with your viewers?
We got the 5 seed. We play Elk River next Tuesday at 7 o'clock in Elk River. So the boys would love your guys' support. It's just a crosstown rival again, so it's not too far of a drive. If you guys can pack the barn, that would be great.
Wonderful. Thank you, Coach. And as always, go Knights.